Hello, my name is Hallie Cooper, and I am a student at McCallum High School in Austin, Texas. I am thrilled to be sharing our research today with the London International Conference. My co-authors, Carson Duncan and Yildirim, analyzed artificial intelligence in marketing, personalization, consumer trust, and the future of digital advertising. Carson Duncan is also a student at McCallum High School, along with me, and Yildirim is a professor at Rice University in Houston, Texas. We are so excited to share our research with you today. We will begin with our table of contents. We have our research question, followed by our 4 key points that we had in our research paper: social media advertising, personalized marketing, ethical concerns, and generational differences. And finally, we will conclude. Now, have you ever noticed this? You're talking with a friend about a new pair of running shoes. Then 5 minutes later, you open TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, and suddenly you're seeing advertisements for that same pair of running shoes. Or maybe Netflix recommends a show that's exactly your style, or Amazon suggests a product that you were just thinking about. It almost feels like your phone is reading your mind. But the answer is, it's not reading your mind. It's artificial intelligence and the sophisticated algorithms that power today's digital platforms. AI algorithms are constantly analyzing what we watch, search, like, and purchase to predict what we're most likely to engage with next. In our paper, that led us to our main question. How is artificial intelligence transforming marketing and consumer behavior? Well, to answer this question, we reviewed recent academic research published between 2024 and 2025 and focused on 4 key areas: AI-driven social media advertising, personalized marketing, ethical concerns, and generational differences in consumer behavior. Together, these topics allowed us to examine both the opportunities and the challenges of AI in modern marketing. In our paper, you'll find that we break down each of these 4 key main points and have subtopics to go with them to make our paper more detailed and more specific to what we are talking about. The first thing we analyzed was social media advertising. Social media advertising has changed significantly with the development of artificial intelligence. Rather than showing the same advertisements to every user, AI algorithms analyze consumer activity, including viewing patterns, clicks, searches, and previous interactions to predict what content will be most relevant to each individual. Davy and Unayel's 2025 research found that AI-driven social media advertising can influence consumer purchasing decisions by improving the relevance and targeting of advertisements. TikTok Shop is a strong real-world example because products can be integrated directly into a user's personal feed, connecting entertainment, product discovery, and purchasing. For example, say there's a teenage girl and it's the middle of summer and she's interested in purchasing bathing suits. Well, if that is what's coming up on her feed and constantly what she's seeing on her TikTok, these AI algorithms save that data and implement it into the TikTok Shop tab. When she clicks that tab, she will see bathing suits recommended to her of different colors and different trending styles, and she'll be more likely to buy those bathing suits. Now, while AI-driven advertising can be highly effective, businesses must continuously adapt their strategies as consumer behaviors and preferences change. Say it may be the winter now. The teenage girl may not be so interested in buying a bikini. She may be more interested in buying a jacket or a coat, and that may be what's trending because of the weather or the season. These businesses must continuously adapt to fit to these changes. AI predicts what consumers are most likely to engage with and buy. Here in our graph, we find the TikTok Shop tab, which I previously discussed, but we can see it broken down a little bit more. We see a flash sale and trending memes and other things that are recommended on TikTok that can then integrate themselves into the TikTok Shop tab. constantly flashing in a consumer's face or recommending products that are directly tailored to them can influence them more to purchase that product. AI predicts what consumers are most likely to engage with and what they are most likely to buy. Next, we analyzed personalized marketing. Now, personalized marketing can be broken down into 4 main categories: machine learning, predictive analytics, recommendation systems, and NLP. But what exactly are these things? Well, Shukla's 2025 research explains how businesses use technologies such as machine learning, predictive analytics, recommendation systems, and natural language processing to create individualized consumer experiences. What are these exactly? Well, machine learning identifies patterns in consumer data, while predictive analytics uses those patterns to anticipate future behavior. Recommendation systems then use this information to suggest products or content that a consumer may be interested in. NLP, or natural language processing, allows technologies such as chatbots and voice assistants to communicate with consumers more effectively. Examples of these include ChatGPT chats. Whenever you have a conversation with it in real time, it pauses saying and follows speech patterns that are similar to yours. That is an example of natural language processing. Or predictive analytics. An example of this is what we were discussing with the running shoes. If you are talking about those running shoes with your family and then you find it online and you think it's a coincidence, it's not. The AI algorithms are just predicting what you are going to engage with and like, and it just so happens that you were talking about it 5 minutes ago. Machine learning memorizes the patterns and continuously feeds it into your feed, and recommendation systems use the analytics that they have on you and suggests more contents that you engage back into the system. You may have seen some of these examples here. Recommended for you, because you watched, or you may also like. These are all examples of personalized marketing and recommending things to you that they believe you would engage with. One consumer does not equal one generic experience. Not all ages or people have the same experiences or cultural backgrounds and will interact with different things and have different content fed to them. Now, what is the cost of this personalization? Well, the same data that makes personalization possible also creates some of AI marketing's greatest ethical concerns. AI systems often depend on large amounts of consumer information, raising questions about what data is being collected, how is this data being used, and whether consumers fully understand the process. Olufuwemi's research identifies privacy, transparency, and consumer trust as major concerns in AI-driven marketing analytics. This creates a challenge for businesses. Consumers may appreciate personalized recommendations while also simultaneously feeling uncomfortable with the amount of information required to produce them. Therefore, the long-term success of AI marketing depends not only on what technology can do, but also on whether businesses can use it responsibly and maintain consumer trust. You may ask yourself the question, would you give a company more of your data if it meant getting better recommendations? Here we break it down. More consumer data leads to better personalization, but raises greater privacy concerns. We have 3 words that we want to consider today: privacy, transparency, and trust. With privacy, businesses must consider that all of their consumers' data is private and not being leaked and not being stolen by other platforms. They must be transparent with their consumers, having them know how much AI is being used. And finally, trust. They want to ensure that they can trust their consumers and their consumers can trust them. These are the 3 words that we want to take into account when considering the cost of this personalization. Now, does everyone trust AI the same way? Well, let's see. Our final area of research examined whether consumers respond to AI in the same way across generations. Barbu's 2025 research suggests that younger consumers, particularly Generation Z, tend to demonstrate greater acceptance of AI-generated content, while older consumers may place greater emphasis on authenticity and transparency, consumer trust also plays an important role. Fang and Kim found that trust in AI-generated personalized advertising is influenced by factors including transparency, personalization, and familiarity with AI. These findings have important implications for businesses. Rather than using one AI marketing strategy for every single consumer, companies may need to adapt how they communicate and disclose their use of AI based on the expectations of different audiences. You may ask yourself, as Gen Z becomes a larger share of the consumer market, will attitudes towards AI fundamentally change? Here we have a graph to break down our research. We have baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z, and we analyze their skepticism versus acceptance of AI, their familiarity with AI, and what they prioritize in the digital marketing world. We found that Gen Z is more accepting towards AI, very familiar with AI, and prioritizes relevance and convenience. Millennials are generally accepting to AI, fairly familiar with AI, and prioritize personalization and transparency. Gen X are more cautious about AI and moderately familiar with it, and they prioritize authenticity and transparency. And baby boomers are very skeptical of AI and less familiar with it and prioritize authenticity and human credibility. One AI marketing strategy may not work for every generation. Businesses must take this into account so that they can tailor their content to each individual consumer. So what does all of this mean for us moving forward? Well, as AI becomes increasingly integrated into marketing, consumers will likely encounter even more personalized advertisement, recommendations, and AI-generated interactions in their everyday lives. For businesses, this creates opportunities to better understand and engage consumers, but it also creates a greater responsibility to protect privacy and maintain transparency. Ultimately, the future of AI-driven marketing will not be shaped by technology alone. It will also depend on how consumers respond to these systems and whether businesses can balance innovation with trust. As AI continues to evolve, both businesses and consumers will have to adapt to a marketplace that is becoming increasingly personalized, automated, and influenced by artificial intelligence. To conclude, our research demonstrates that artificial intelligence is no longer simply an emerging technology in marketing. It is already influencing how businesses advertise, communicate with consumers, and personalize experiences, and how they make their strategic decisions. Through our research into social media advertising, personalized marketing, ethical concerns, and generational differences, we found that AI offers businesses significant opportunities to better understand and reach their consumers. However, we also found that the effectiveness of these technologies depends on more than their technical capabilities. AI-driven marketing ultimately relies on consumer participation. Every interaction with a digital platform, whether watching a video, clicking on a product, or engaging with a recommendation, can contribute to the systems that shape our future and online experiences. This allows businesses to create marketing that is increasingly relevant and personalized, but it also raises questions about privacy, transparency, and how much influence algorithms should have over consumer decisions. Our research also shows that consumers do not all respond to AI in the same way. Differences in age, technological familiarity, and expectations surrounding authenticity can influence whether individuals accept or distrust AI in the same way. As AI becomes integrated into everyday life, businesses will need to recognize these differences rather than assuming that one marketing strategy will be equally effective for every single consumer. Looking ahead, the relationship between AI, businesses, and consumers will likely continue to evolve. As consumers, we will need to become more aware of how AI influences content, advertisements, and recommendations we encounter. At the same time, businesses will face the challenge of using increasingly powerful technologies while maintaining consumer trust. The companies that succeed may not simply be those that use the most advanced AI, but those that use it in ways that consumers view as valuable, transparent, and responsible. Ultimately, AI is transforming more than the way that products are marketed. It is changing the relationship between businesses and consumers. As this technology continues to develop, the central question may no longer be whether businesses will use AI in marketing at all, but how they will use it, and how consumers, like us, will choose to respond. Thank you. And these were the sources that we used in our research paper.